And we will now start with the opening speeches. And our proposition is economic freedom more important than economic equality? And we will now start with Mr. Jonas Cortes of the University of St. La Salle.
Good evening. The Greek words oikos, meaning home, and nomos, meaning law, form the word oikonomos, or economics. Economics, according to Lila and Dale Truitt of the University of Texas at San Antonio, in their book Economics, published in 2007, is the study of how resources are and can be used to satisfy wants and needs. And from this word springs our debate, economic equality versus economic freedom. There are three kinds of equality, according to the 2007 World Book Dictionary: political, social, and economic. Political equality is equality before the law. No one is exempt from it. Social equality is no discrimination due to status. Rich or poor, black or white, it does not matter. It does not make a difference for all human. Economic equality, as defined by Karl Marx, is communal ownership to all members of society. Everything from resources to production is distributed evenly, according to the wishes of the government. According to the 2007 Economic Index published by the Wall Street Journal, economic freedom is measured by the size of the government, the security of property rights, access to sound money, freedom to trade internationally, and the regulation of credit, labor, and business. Furthermore, cornerstones of economic freedom are personal rather than collective choice, freedom to enter and compete in markets, protection of property from aggression of others, and voluntary exchange coordinated with the markets rather than allocation via political process. This yearly index has been conducted for 13 years and has been confirmed that countries that increased their freedom also increased their economic growth rate from 0.35% to 2.25% and double GDP per person. Economic freedom has been shown to correlate with higher literacy, life expectancy, less corruption, and higher income of the poorest 10% of the world. People are unique. You will never be equal in everything. Economic equality is but a dream, for there will always be differences in people. Freedom and equality are interrelated but never mixed. For restricting freedom to gain equality is a hypocrisy and a system destined to fail.
You mentioned about this economic freedom index. Can you please tell us, or let's say our televiewers tonight, how did the Philippines fare in this economic index? How were we ranked in this index?
Well, not to be ashamed or anything, or biased, but I'm afraid the Philippines has been ranked number 97,
97.
Out of 157 in the economic index.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's turn to St. Scholastica's Academy, Ms. Victoria Dreyfus.
Today, we have a strange situation in which a tiny fraction of the world's population owns and controls almost everything material, where the majority of people have to struggle and split the small remainder that is left. There are more food, money, and goods today than has ever been in history, yet poverty is far from being eliminated. Although the world's population is large, it is not so large that people need to go hungry, forgo basic healthcare, basic education, and etc. As the few elite pursue their own rights to be free and further improving themselves and spending for unnecessary things, they are depriving others of their rights to have basic needs. According to Mahatma Gandhi, the world is enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. The world has enough resources for everyone. The problem arises when these resources are not distributed equitably. Karl Marx once said that economic equality means to each according to his need. We are pushing for social responsibility and moral obligation. We are pushing for the amelioration of poverty and the progress of humanity. We are pushing for the common good before individual interest, the satisfaction of need, and the equitable distribution of goods. According to the representative of Nepal during the 56th General Assembly of the Third Committee, islands of prosperity had continued to flourish in an ocean of unspeakable poverty. He said that people in developing countries were still living without access to clean drinking water, education, good health, and other basic services of life. Though economically free countries are the most progressive countries, however, it is also in these countries where the rich become richer, the poor become poorer, moral degeneration is most prevailing, less labor force is present, individual interest is more protected rather than the common good. Thus, the progress of the economy is only made available for selected individuals rather than for all. For example,
Okay, thank you very much, Victoria. Now, Jonas here mentioned about the Philippines being ranked number 97 in the index of economic freedom. Now, what can you say about that? Is that do you agree that the Philippines should be ranked in that way?
Like, of course, let's face it, the Philippines is a third world country and poverty is almost present everywhere. But our stand is, through economic equality, the distribution of needs, the distribution of resources according to one's needs will satisfy the needs of the people and eventually make the people equal in terms of satisfaction of needs. And if this happens, then we will be able to alleviate poverty and we will be able to improve the situation of our country today. I mean, only a few people in the Philippines are rich and they cannot drive the whole economy. Everybody must be involved.
Okay, thank you very much. Now